You're going to see a lot of different stuff in 2019 with the University of Maryland's football team. A new head coach, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, and a new quarterback. Is that going to translate into more wins on the football field, or are they going to take a step back while the rebuilding process unfolds? Let's take a look at it. What's up, guys? Carolina Jackpot coming at you. This is going to be the preview for the 2019 Maryland Terrapins, and I'm doing it a little bit different today. And I'm going to do it a little bit different going forward. We're not going to do the normal just preview videos that I've been doing where I go over the team's record from last year. I go over their offense. I go over their defense, who's coming back, who's gone, who the coach is, special teams, yada, 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 all that stuff. And then I break down the schedule. Okay, there's just a lot of us out there who've been doing the same exact thing. And quite frankly, it takes a long time to do those. These are a little bit shorter videos. They're going to be the Destroying Vegas videos. What I'm going to do is throw out the win total that Vegas has set these teams at, and then we're going to take a look at the games where we think there are sure wins, where we think there are sure losses, and some games that could be kind of iffy, that could go either way, and how we would bet the season. A lot of people like to bet the over and unders for the season. It gives them a little something to whet their appetite on instead of actually betting on the games, because let's be frank, in the summertime, you don't have any games to bet on. So for 2019, Vegas has pretty much set Maryland's over-under win total at 6. And depending on where you look at, it could be 5, it could be 7, but 6, according to most sites that I've looked at, is where they are set at. By the way, I'm doing this preview on the Maryland Terrapins because it was requested by one of my subscribers, McD Sports 64. Make sure you go check him out. I'm going to put a link to McD Sports 64's channel in the description box below. He actually has a channel that looks like he's trying to get off the ground. He needs some subscribers. He needs some views for his videos. Go over there and check the kid out, guys. All right, so in 2019, Maryland is bringing in a new head coach, Mike Locksley. He was 3-31 as a head coach in his previous stints. He was coach at New Mexico for most of that, and he actually coached Maryland for a few games as an interim a few years ago. He returns 3 starters on offense and 4 on defense. Now, he does bring in a couple of transfers to play linebacker, Shaq Smith, who's coming in from Clemson, and they're bringing in a transfer from Ohio State. That's huge. Both those guys should be able to step in and make an immediate impact coming from high-level Power 5 programs. They were 63rd in defense last year, which is not bad. But like I said, they lost a lot off that defense. These guys will help bridge the gap a little bit. They were 95th in offense, so there's a lot of room for improvement there. Last year, sometimes their offense looked decent. For example, the game at home against Texas. Other games, such as the game at home against Temple, it was almost shit show-like. So they're really inconsistent last year. Josh Jackson is going to take over at quarterback. Most likely this year, he's a transfer from Virginia Tech. Do I think that Josh Jackson is going to be the magic elixir to solve all of Maryland's offensive problems? No, I don't. The guy is okay, but he is not a superstar. It's going to take some time for Maryland to get a lot of wins racked up on that side of the ledger, but I believe they will take a step in the right direction this year, provided that Locksley's coordinators do a good job for him. Like I said, guys, 3-31 as a head coach. That was at New Mexico most of the time. A lot of talent at New Mexico, okay? But he was offensive coordinator at Alabama. Did a decent job, but you got to take a look at some of the talent he had at Alabama as well. I mean, I could probably take over as offensive coordinator there and win 8 or 9 games myself, and my head coaching experience is go on ahead and mark the games that are sure things. The home game against Howard on the 31st of August, that is a sure win. Your game at Rutgers on the 5th of October is a sure win, or it definitely should be. Rutgers is one of the worst teams in the Power 5. You got some sure losses on here as well. The game on the 2nd of November against Michigan, I just don't see you winning that game. You lost by 21 points to them last year. Michigan is picked to either finish 1 or 2 in the Big Ten, depending on how you look at it. Lost some stuff off defense, a couple of draft picks, high draft picks, Devin Bush and Rashawn Gary, but they're still pretty loaded there. Shea Patterson's back at quarterback. You're not beating those guys. The next week, you're at Ohio State. That's a 1-2 punch. I'm giving you a loss there. Now, you did play pretty well against them last year. Case in point, talking about being inconsistent. 52-51, you lost at the end. That was a crazy end of the game. That's not going to be that close this year. I'm giving you a loss at Ohio State. That's a sure loss. So we got 2-2 there. The game on the 30th at Michigan State, I'm putting that one down as a sure loss as well, guys. I just don't see you guys beating Michigan State. They're returning 9 starters on offense, I believe, and 8 on defense, or either it's 8 and 9 the other way. From a team that made a bowl game last year, I don't see you beating those guys. The other games, there's some opportunities for wins here. Syracuse at home is an opportunity for a win. I'm going to put a circle around that one. Eric Dungy is gone, but they do return the core of their defense. They were 9-3 in the regular season last year, ended up winning their bowl game against West Virginia. Syracuse is riding high right now. I don't know exactly how high I am on them. Can they sustain that? Can they sustain that? That's the big question. Last year when they were on the big stage, they totally got obliterated by Notre Dame. However, Dungy went out with injury in that game. I'm still not that high on Syracuse. I think that's a winnable game for you guys at home. The 14th against Temple, I'm going to give you a win there. But I'm going to circle it, guys. You got to play better against them this year. You have to play better. Last year's game against Temple, I actually watched the little 4-minute highlight thing on that one earlier today, and you just played awful against them last year. No excuse for losing a game like that to a non-Power 5 team. Penn State is on the 27th. Apparently that is a Friday night game for you guys. We all know that weird things happen on Friday nights. Penn State losing some skill position players. Their running back's gone. Tracy McSorley is gone. I think this will be somewhat of a rebuilding year for them. They are still more talented than you guys are. However, on both sides of the ball, I'm going to give you a loss in this game, but I'm going to put a watch on it just because of the fact it's a Friday game. Weird things can happen on Friday games. Like we said before, last year they played a Friday game against Illinois, at Illinois, Penn State did, and I think they were actually losing at halftime. Now, in the second half, they came back and totally steamrolled Illinois just because of the fact their depth was just so much better than what the Illini had. But that's something that bears watching. It bears watching. It's a rivalry game. It's the closest thing that you guys really have to a rival in the Big Ten, but you've only beaten them 2 times, and they've beaten you like 40. So history's not on your side there. History's not on your side. It's kind of tough to pick out Maryland's history as far as Big Ten games go and try to get any kind of a trend going on these games. Either you guys just entered the Big Ten in 2014, but the trends are starting to unfold. They're starting to unfold. The next week you are on the road at Purdue. That's going to be a tough game for y'all. That's going to be a tough game for you. Rondell Moore is going to be a tough matchup for you guys. I'm going to call that one a loss. They lost to quarterback David Blau, who threw for a ton of yards last year, but Elijah Sindelar is taking over. He has been the starting quarterback in Purdue in the past. He actually lost his job to Blau. So he's a downgrade from David Blau, but Jeff Brom's got that program headed in the right direction. I think that will be a loss for you guys. I'm going to circle it, though, and put a watch on it. Indiana at home on the 19th. I'm going to give you guys a win here. You lost to Indiana last year by 2 points on the road. They are featuring Peyton Ramsey at quarterback and a running back. Both these guys have been there for 2 years starting apiece. So there's a little bit of continuity with Indiana. They're not a great football team. They're pretty mediocre at best, but at home you should take care of business against them. I'm going to give that one to you as a win. I'm not even going to put a watch on it. You're beating Indiana at home. At Minnesota on the 26th, I'm pretty high on Minnesota this year. They're returning 90% of their offensive production from last year. Team that finished really strong, played really well in their bowl game. You guys did beat them last year and the year before. However, this is a road game for you. It's late in the year. I'm going to give you a loss in this game. Nebraska, skip over there a little bit because we already talked about theirs. Nebraska comes on the heels of a bye week after the Michigan-Ohio State gauntlet. Everybody's really high on Nebraska this year. With Adrian Martinez at quarterback. They were 4-8 last year, played really well towards the end of the season and could make a splash in that western side of the Big Ten. They could actually win it if all the stars fall into alignment. People are really high on Nebraska this year. I'm somewhat high on them. I think Martinez is a really talented player, but it takes more than just a quarterback to make things go. It takes more than just a quarterback. There's a lot of questions about that defense. This is coming on the heels of 2 games that I think are losses for you guys. I think that they're probably going to be woodsheddings. So how do you respond after an off week? Do you curl up into a ball, take your ball, go home for the winter? Or do you come out swinging? I think you come out swinging. It's a home game. I'm going to give you guys a win there. I'm really going to give you a win there. I think that you beat Nebraska at home, and I'm not even going to put a watch on that one. So when we go take a look at this one, now remember Vegas had them at 6 wins. That would give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins. That gives you 6 wins. That's where I find them. And then the ones that we've put watches on that can go either way, the Syracuse and Temple game, I put a watch on, so those could be losses. If I took a watch on 2 losses, they could be wins. So what does that tell me? It tells me your record's probably going to end up being about 6-6. What would you do in this situation? I tell you what I'd do. I wouldn't bet Maryland. I would not bet Maryland. I think there's some other teams that you can find value in. I would not place any money on these guys. It's just too unpredictable, guys. Too unpredictable. Too many things can happen. All right, I hope you appreciated this one. Or I hope you enjoyed it anyway. I appreciated doing it for you. I'll see you all later. All right, guys. That's it. I appreciate it, and thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Let's get the word out about the Carolina Jackpot and the Destroying Vegas series. And I will see y'all later. Peace. And I'm out of here. Go Gamecocks. Spurs up to my toes up.